I haven't done one of these in a long time, but I wanted to. I'm worried if I post this, people will not support my channel anymore because it's not a YouTube poop, but I also want to do other things on this channel and just, it's one of those things like, I, something I don't really want to post on my main channel. It's just something I wanted to do on this channel, and then that video blew up, so it kind of like made me like, okay, I gotta keep it like this to grow more. And it's like sometimes you just gotta make the content you want, you know what I mean? But anyway, this episode is on anxiety, and for specifically is generalized anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder as a kid. I think they changed it to generalized. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's pretty much the same thing. It's kind of like when I think when they just changed ADHD into ADD, which that'll be another episode. Running myself on that one because I rewatch my videos all the time, but not on this channel because it's my it's my backup. But anyway, you see, I have anxiety. Have you, like, this whole video has been just a metaphor for my anxiety already. And I'm gonna tell you in this video how that affects my life every day, and to see if, I'm not saying, if you have these symptoms, that you are diagnosed with it, because I'm not a doctor, but if you kind of line up with, most of these in this video, or a good majority of them, then maybe you should maybe think about getting a diagnosis so you can get all the help you need. But anyway, um, so, so number one, my mind is always racing. Um, that is literally, my mind does not shut off. It could be an autism thing too. I'm also autistic, but my mind goes constantly with thoughts, and sometimes it gets to the point where I'm so inside of my head, I forget what I'm doing at the time. Like, I literally forget where things are at work. I stop what I'm doing because I just get so lost in my head. It's like, you know, I don't know if multitasking is um, a trait with autism or not, but I don't know. It's just that intense that I have to stop and literally focus on my thoughts, or But I don't think that happens too much. The whole forgetting things, that, yeah, that happens a lot. But just stopping to think, that's when it's really bad. Like when you like literally can't, focus on being present. Another anxiety is everything is heightened. So let's say um your dad's not texting you back. Okay, a normal person, well, I don't like to say normal, but you know what I mean, someone without anxiety. I apologize about that, but uh someone without anxiety disorder, everyone has anxiety, but someone without the disorder will be like, "Oh, I'm a little concerned," you know? Put the phone away, after a few seconds of looking at it, like, "Hey, where is he?" Then you just put it. Someone with anxiety will be like, "Hmm, where is he? What is he doing? What's happening? Uh, should I be concerned? Was he in a car accident? Was he this? These?" And then it just keeps going in your head. If it's something you're worried about, that's just an example. If it's something that concerns you, you're gonna think of all the possible situations in your head. So this leads me to communication. When you're inside your own head with all those thoughts going away, you can say everything perfectly to somebody. But then you're walking away and you're like, "Oh, I forgot this and this and this and this to tell them." And it's like you feel like you haven't said everything to them. It might be a part of my autism too, but swear, it is just, it's awful. It's the most awful feeling in the world, feeling like you lied when you didn't, you just forgot things. You know how people, joke all the time, like, haha, I forgot this, I lied. But no, we literally feel like I didn't express myself. I feel like I actually lied. So, so again, a lot of this will tie in with my autism too, but just this is my personal experience with it. So I'm gonna get you. Let's go to the paranoia. That when it's really bad. Okay, so when you're worried about something, let's just say, I don't know, you bump into somebody and you think they were mad at you. So someone without anxiety would have been like, "Oops, my bad." Keep walking. Someone with anxiety would have been like, "Oh man, I feel like such a jerk. Man, why did I bump into him like that?" And and then you just apologize way too much. Just something that wasn't even that big of a deal. And I gotta give you a better example because for the more actually wording things that might give someone 5-10 minutes of worry. It's just, you get someone with anxiety literally like a couple hours, and then the stuff that's like, okay, maybe you're worried about for like 30 minutes, an hour. They're at home for like 4 hours, like people with anxiety just worrying about it. Like I said, like anything that gives you anxiety, just times it by 3. That's what someone with generalized anxiety has to go through. I'm just trying to think of an example. I didn't write anything out. I didn't think of this when I hit record. But okay. Let's say you got in an argument with one of your coworkers. Okay. This has been happening a lot recently with me. So this is kind of like a therapy session for myself. So literally, I will worry if they hate me. Like, maybe wasn't, like, it's something that would annoy someone, but the next day they will forgive you for it. You don't forgive yourself when you have anxiety. You beat it, you're like, you jerk, why do you do that to them? And then just the whole night. And, for extreme cases, for extremes where you shouted at someone, don't even go there. If you actually got into an actual fight where it's gonna take a couple days to forgive each other, you're not gonna get much sleep that night. What's some other things for having anxiety? Okay, we didn't really go over the paranoia yet. Sorry if this is disorganized a little bit, but this is a good transition for the more extreme cases. So, yeah, let's just use that example again. You're yelling at your coworker, yelling. Paranoia can come and creep in. It's anxiety and paranoia. They're good buddies. It's a good metaphor where it's like the anxiety is like, I don't know, with Pokemon. Let's say you're a level 1. Anxiety is like, level 5, level 10. But, let's just say that certain Pokemon evolves at level 15. And once it gets there, guess what? It's a higher opponent. So literally, you're dealing with the same stuff, only ramped up to like 10, 15. So with the paranoia, you're like, oh, they'll never love me again. Or if it's, with a relationship, like I said, this is disorganized, but oh, they'll never like me again. They hate me. What other things did I do to get them to hate me? Oh, and then you go in the next day and you see them, looking different at you. And then, maybe still a little mad, But in their head, they're like, oh, I'm still a little mad, but we'll get over it. In your head, you're looking at how mad they are, and you're like, oh, what did I do this time? And then you're anxious you did something else. And it's to the point where then your brain comes up with hypotheticals, what you could have done. All this is hypothetical just for seeing someone mad at you. And it's like it gets you worried, like, oh, did I do something wrong? Am I gonna get in trouble to the boss or something because what I did? It just ramped up constantly inside of your head. And the paranoia, like I said, it's kind of, then you start to think, like, you know, things that weren't even attached to that because you're so busy fighting with your demons, with other things, trying to fight them off. Paranoia is like, it's like I said, if you have like three different Pokemon coming at you, both of them are like level 10, you know, and meanwhile level 15 here is kicking your butt while you're at level 1, so like you're trying to fight these ones off, but this one's still like the big foe. You can't face him right now, so you're facing the little ones, and then he just takes control of your brain, and then he's like giving you hypotheticals that don't even make sense, that aren't linked to anything. But since you're already in an anxiety about stuff that, potentially could happen, but didn't actually happen, that have some sort of link to the real world, paranoia steps in while you're vulnerable, just comes in and is like, says this and that. Your parents never loved you. You're a burden. You're a mess up. You're this. You're that. And it really affects your self-esteem, and it makes you think like, oh, it's while you're in that state, it makes you think of things that wouldn't normally be a worry if you weren't dealing with these over, like, oh, is she gonna punch me, uh you know is she gonna punch me if I break up with her, or I don't know, I'm just thinking of just random scenarios. You know what I mean? It's like, is she gonna, punch me? Is she just I can't really give you like exact paranoia. I have to be in that state to really um you know like explain it to you, because it just, like, right now, because I'm not in that state, it's like it's really hard to go to that state, because it just, since I have a logical mind right now, it's like it only comes out whenever the paranoia happens. So like that's the worst, because you can only fight it when you're in a vulnerable state, because that's the only time you know what you're dealing with. So, is there anything else? Oh yeah, constantly. This is part of my autism too, but constantly worried about what other people think. Like, reading their verbal cues is really hard for someone on autism spectrum, but so that social anxiety, constantly worrying if I upset someone, because I have maybe I'll talk about it one day. I have abandonment issues. Maybe I'll have a whole separate video. I want to stay on anxiety right now, but so I'm always constantly worried, like, oh, is someone gonna leave my life? Um, I don't know. I guess not really, but I guess, like, it's hard to explain. It's something that you might be subconsciously worried about, but you're not actually worried about. So I don't know. It's hard to explain anxiety. It's like one of those things that's like you can't, because usually it's irrational. And I think that's the best way to describe anxiety to you. You just can't. And when it happens, you gotta try to come back into reality and be like, okay, These are the things I need to work on. Just because someone is mad doesn't mean they're mad at me. And just maybe I'll talk about depression next, because a lot of this stuff kind of, I was talking about like the self-esteem stuff that comes up with your anxiety that leads right into the depression. Depression's like, if I could give an example. So if you're at level 1 again, Pokemon, fighting level 5s, you got level 15, level 30 is depression. It's like, and then just the more you fight it, it just gets worse and worse. Sometimes. So if it's bad, you know what I mean? Just it wants you to do bad things, and then it just keeps you there. So it gets more power and levels up, and then it gets to the final form. But eventually, we'll talk about all that. So hopefully that kind of was a good segue for next time. I think that's just the best way. I don't know what else to say about anxiety. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. You just okay, how about this? Have you ever been called a worry warts? Have you ever been said you worry too much? You overthink? Have people told you that you're over dramatic? Have people told you that you're a drama queen? A lot of those things, are associated with, a negative stereotype of having, anxiety. And it's like, that's a negative aspect of anxiety. Like, if someone is going through it and someone is just being told calm down is awful. Being told just to get over it is awful. Being called a drama queen, like I said, over dramatic. It's to the point where I say I'm being over dramatic when it's like, no, these are real feelings I gotta deal with. But I've been, I've been called that so many times in my life that I just start using it. But anyway, those are the type of things that people will tell you if you have anxiety, or potentially, like I said, talk to a doctor if you relate to some of this, because literally it could be about your homework, not worried about getting your homework done. I literally sat on the couch for hours worrying about getting my homework done and not actually doing it. But I wanted to get it done, so I forced myself with my anxiety to get it done. Could be about work, could be about relationships. It's just, anxiety is so many things. So, yeah, so like I said, if you relate to a lot of these, I suggest talking to a doctor, because I think everyone should have therapy, at least have therapy. I think everyone should have as much support as they can get, whether there's caseworkers, of course, therapists, psychologists, medication, everything. And if you need it, go to a hospital. You know what I mean? I think I'm rambling at this point. That's another thing people with anxiety tend to do, according to other people. So I just, like I said earlier, I don't want to end this video / conversation just like in real life, because as soon as I turn off that camera, I'm going to think of other things. But at least maybe this is good. You'll see someone that's actually anxious on screen, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm like that all the time. So maybe this is good that this video is a jumbled mess. Maybe someone will relate even more to it, because, even if I don't know you, I want the best for everyone. Even like people I don't like, I want the best for everybody. So, if you relate to these things, please go get some help. I'm not saying that in a mean way. Literally, it's just a negative connotation to therapy that, when you tell someone to get help, that is seen as negative. It's, no one is weak for going to a therapist. Everyone has anxiety. See, with, bipolar or autism, not everyone has that. But anxiety, everyone struggles with this. And I'm sure you probably relate to a few of these things, at least. But again, if you relate to majority, then that's an actual, like, disorder. You know, if you're like, no, I don't get paranoid that often unless it's a really serious situation. Because everyone has anxiety, it's good. The good anxiety, it helps you alert yourself from danger. Be like, okay, this is dangerous. I need these guys look like bad influences, so I'm going to get away from them. That's what anxiety is supposed to tell you. But when it's out of whack and telling you to be worried about irrational things, like, if we go deeper into the paranoia, like worried, just, I don't know, like, there's aliens out to get you or something. I know that sounds, with someone that's not, like, not going through paranoia, that sounds like I don't know how to say it. I'm not trying to downplay paranoia either when I say this, but it seems really far fetched. But trust me, if, like, I've been, like I said, we'll get into other things. That's another thing I'm going to be focused on in another video. It's called schizoaffective bipolar disorder. I used to have it, but not anymore. I got rid of it, or technically I still have it. When I went to the doctors, I'm like, what is this? I thought I got rid of it. But, well, like I said, just I'm reminding myself all these things, and I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new. Hopefully this was entertaining and informative. I'm not a doctor. Please, if you're struggling with anxiety, please get support, because no one deserves to go through this. Exercise will help. Eating right, and I'm literally telling that to myself because I haven't been doing that. But it helps. Talking to a friend, talking to anybody you trust, is talking to someone you don't trust will not help your anxiety. Okay, I'm being a smart aleck. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you all enjoyed. And don't leave me because it's not a YouTube poop. I hope not. Anyway, like I said, I have bandwidth issues. See you guys.